Kuzampo, this is Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program. My name is Pupkam. Our top stories this week. His Majesty the King arrives in Thimphu after inspecting measures against COVID-19 in Phintsling and Samtsi. Periodic coronavirus testing for high-risk communities and frontline workers along the border. And state-owned enterprises sign its first annual performance compact with the Finance Ministry. His Majesty the King arrived in Thimphu after a tour of Phintsling and Samtsi to inspect measures against COVID-19. The Prime Minister accompanied His Majesty.
His Majesty travelled to Phintsling on 9th May and visited the temporary housing built for people evacuated from Jaigong at the Amochu Land Development and Township Project area. The structures built by the RBA are complete and will accommodate 1,000 families. The first 40 households moved into the new houses today in a tender ceremony attended by the Prime Minister. Allotment is ongoing for the remaining families. While in Phintsling, His Majesty also granted an audience to the Phintsling COVID-19 Task Force and inspected the border from Pasaka to Phintsling. This stretch is manned by DSUPs, RBA and RBP personnel, retired armed force personnel and volunteers from the Department of Customs, Department of Forests and National Land Commission on sentry duty at numerous outposts. His Majesty met with the personnel on duty at these outposts and commended them for their work. In Samtsi, His Majesty the King visited the site for the Gyaltsung Training Center in Jomotsangkha, where preparatory work is underway for construction to begin. His Majesty also granted separate audiences to the DSUPs undergoing the 39th batch accelerated Desung training at Samtsi, Trasicholing and Tendu. Volunteers are being trained at Samrup Jongkar, Sarbang, Wangdipodda and Paro, as well as 3 locations in Samtsi for the 39th batch, which took in 2,851 men and women for the accelerated training. With the addition of the 39th batch, the overall strength of the Desung will be 9,873 men and women. Trainees of the 38th accelerated batch have already joined other DSUPs engaged with COVID-19 related activities to serve at various locations across the country for sentry, patrolling, quarantine support and stocking essential goods. Sonamongdi, BBS News.
In a tender ceremony, 40 families received keys to their new temporary shelters at the Amochu Land Development and Township Project area in Phintsling. The temporary housing is for thousands of Bhutanis who lived in the bordering Indian town of Jaigong before the COVID-19 pandemic.
One by one, the families received keys to their new temporary prefabricated shelters. They were symbolically selected on a need basis to receive housing in the ceremony to mark the 40th birth anniversary of His Majesty the King. Speaking at the gathering, the Prime Minister said, "The temporary housing solution is a realization of His Majesty's command to not leave any Bhutanese home and abroad suffering due to the COVID-19 pandemic."
Gyakab laluchinan teniji gi chage dungi bom ke te pejogi netang du topo yo matop sani thuni chi milalu to ki shibe dumigi gyakab le shayubdalu machi gyakab nadi tapingi machara drup sechile kahara chora thi se du nangkyuna dumigi misule chage dungi bachuni myo te japcho kantabe te gyabda jungira jego se pengi lokchi kanadi.
Upon His Majesty's command, the Royal Bhutan Army started constructing the temporary houses on 28th of March. The Prime Minister reminded people of their responsibilities once they move into their new temporary homes.
La bema chubigi la bini chung chamo chubigi chung chapni te aludisu danzima beo na chubom shuzubigi thamaime tama aludisu rerengi lu te kengire thomachin te nganami sim lo gyong se pengi lo chira tebe sungde yu se shuni bela tina singile te mi ma bengale te chapsa disu kai kusla ba bebe tama COVID-19 ni nejile kasuru neji jemigi tapma diure mithunga asegi te chage dungi du se pen thu chage tebe jedi yu se shuni bela.
for the affected families. After months of staying with their relatives and in schools and colleges in Phinseling, they are delighted to move into their new homes, be it temporarily.
제강로 디디 입지로 주시다 지라 야셀라 tamamina gomju shimla phaja kanara.
After retiring from the armed force, I stayed in Jaigong for about 14 years. With the blessings of His Majesty the King, we stayed in schools without any problems until now. I would like to thank His Majesty for giving us a home during a time like this.
Since I was studying at class PP, I was staying at Jaigong and now I'm class 11 la. And when I was staying at Jaigong, there was a lot of problem like snapping, kidnapping and bullying and all la. Now when I'm staying at Bhutan side, I'm really feeling safe la. And I'm really thankful to the king and the government la.
The temporary housing will accommodate 1,000 households. Estimates show about 5,000 people will live in the housing area once the allotment, which is ongoing, is complete. Sharaf Doji, BBS News, Phinseling.
The Health Ministry started periodic testing of high-risk communities and frontline workers along the border areas. This is one of the additional strategies the government is putting in place to prevent and contain local transmission of the coronavirus. The Health Minister shared that the additional measures are following an assessment according to which the border areas are identified as high-risk communities. Other interventions include tracing and treating.
다 아니 예부 각탑 베니딜루디 같이 베니모 사와친 당아체기 마 산참날레 마 되메드수 가데 타타치 나체기 용절기 톨레 유미기 드룩 트레스 세미딜라 유프테 치나 시에세 슈닐라 땡아체 마 산참 다디 유미드수 데 파다수 조나 다토 나좀치 베와친 데 가데 타타치 젬 유나 세유라 다마 베와친 te baza dun de chile te joma choppe ma sansamle yakata omdalu dinale pha kara nga chegi te takshe benila joba duga menoga katile oinga kati joiga.
Minister Deshan Wangmu said the Health Ministry supplied adequate personal protective equipment, essential medicine and human resources to hospitals along the borders. Besides, as public health measures, the ministry recommends use of face masks in public places, including health facilities.
Ta khagi toredi lalen thaptalu kachi jeisa ochi mansho chigi khagi toredi khagpu tele hemchunale dorokhana chu ane beumela ta ngachegi hole bewachin te chushochinalu chushim level anebe ta chushochina anebe chu mola anebe chu tele te khagi toredi tön tele khagi toredi pu chaudalu dele di na logdira jolada hemchuna chu madawa ani chushodina chu be dele jolana chu dele doro gupta tön doro lalen thap mola dele china hepta ani tön ani da ani ni chara chuchi chu lejumbe dele kambe dele digi nabale dele ani lalen thap tubla.
The ministry will continue enforcing physical distancing and hand-washing stations in all public places and highly discourages non-essential gathering at all times. Pupgem for BBS News. The government is yet to decide on reopening of schools in the country. Foreign Minister Dr. Tandi Doji clarified that discussions are still underway in the cabinet. The Education Ministry, in consultation with the Health Ministry, will soon present a proposal to the government.
Foreign Minister Dr. Tandi Doji said the government is currently exploring alternatives and considering various factors before reopening schools.
가틸레 곱친이나 치워진 가드베 곱친이나 롭다기 난코나로 사토 자니기 고갑 요카 미카 칠당 롭림 가르친이나 쭈니다 추탐짱 핀이나 가지고지 총지 깨고베세 아니드수 가랑같이 차기 깨디베 순데나도 수슈니베 데루 녀강베 유미수 보딩 스쿨 베바친 땀 마디우남세 미제세 코라루에 가라야 보딩이 나나 추신레 피가 이미 가야 나나 맞바자와친 땀 마디 미노세 때 니마 롭라나 좀 추루치나 오면서 땀마디 두세 안두스 가랑같이 순대 주미가 유 세슈니비.
From the health perspective, the health minister said it is important to understand the risk and vulnerability which is determined by what is happening in the region and within the country and the nature of the pandemic.
As of now, we are quite confident that there are no local transmission. But we are again not 100% sure that there is no local transmission. So it has to be a decision that is good for the nation, for the country, and good for everyone. So it is, I think at the government level, we are discussing options, we are exploring, but we are also very mindful of our own risks, our own vulnerability.
Meanwhile, yesterday, the Education Ministry notified all district and Thomde administrations to start preparing facilities such as supply of piped water and installation of hand-washing stations in schools. In view of the urgency and critical nature of the work, the notification asked the administrations to carry out the work as required at the earliest so that the schools can reopen safely as and when the government decides on the dates. Last week, the ministry received a directive from the Prime Minister to prepare for the reopening of schools on the condition that all schools meet the provision of drinking water and availability of hand-washing stations as preparedness against the COVID-19 pandemic. Sunampem for BBS News.
According to Rapid Socio-Economic Impact Assessment of COVID-19 on Bhutan's tourism sector, impact is already deep and widespread, affecting lives and livelihood. The assessment finds that 63% of respondents reported that their household income had fallen by over 50% due to the crisis. The National Statistics Bureau, in collaboration with UNDP Bhutan, carried out the Rapid Impact Assessment.
The assessment collected data from over 1,200 individuals from sectors affected by the pandemic, such as tourism and related sectors. Of the total respondents, 36% reported that they have been laid off and had to close their businesses. The impact assessment says emerging trends of the pandemic suggest that unemployment will be a significant challenge in case of prolonged crisis. Coming to food security, more than 20% of the deprived respondents said their household did not have enough food for 3 or more weeks. Moreover, over 60% of the deprived respondents did not have enough sources of income or savings to meet monthly expenses for more than 2 months. Respondents also expressed their inability to repay loans. Majority of the business owners reported having debts. Kiledem for BBS News.
Thousands of Bhutanese are on the front lines battling COVID-19 that is rapidly spreading around the world. They are putting themselves in the path of the virus in this unprecedented crisis. So, as a token of appreciation and gratitude, Royal Insurance Corporation of Bhutan is providing free life insurance to the frontline workers.
100,000 Newton free life insurance is being provided to frontline workers for a period of 6 months beginning March. But if the situation continues, it will be extended.
So this is a small way of RSCB shareholders saying thank you very much for keeping us safe. And also, we appreciate your hard work, both in rain and sun, night, day. So they are in the borders patrolling and help people, keeping our people safe. So for that, shareholders felt it was appropriate for us to say thank you very much.
However, the company clarified that it is not for general public.
In the event, unfortunately, somebody would lose life in fighting COVID. Either because in the process of fighting COVID, you get yourself COVID and lose life, or in the process of fighting COVID, maybe some unexpected accidents happen and you die. So this program covers everybody who is fighting COVID, unfortunately who loses life in fighting COVID.
And the initiative is a morale booster for some of the frontline workers.
Tangache ana sasamna mate chashu kablo ganta chururi chashudo la te ganta gege nye chobe tato ngachane be chashudo tane bodolo tangachi ki pham pincha kara jabja ave te alo pham pincha khai jabra jabe khatim chibe tamma dur thembashin teru RSF gi ngachalo te chashum ka erolula te anebe japchu yuse ngachalo tamma dur thembashin ngacha RSF ngatule anebe yuse sumi dulu ngacha chashumi karang ngatule nami semi kadishi se shunila RSF lula
debe ngachlo nosum lejumbe tambe da ani kidu namidulu te ngachi khatle bewachindi da ngachi hengichara namsme da ati sem chage majeba chimnagi zasangduse phako shadi te nizumge da ani sansamgi khatugo duty bewom da ngachara ati lo dipapa bomchira jumbeteru kongi khatulebe anjumbe jenamdulu ngachara namsme ati pakike chumbete de ngachara bere sem ati dingdibe hengera japtur besunime se shunila
insurance the yubi kanle de ngachi chelangi labe mitisule lopo henkera bombera thomne susunila kachapsawachin ani zum yubi kapselera insurance the yubi kapsulu ngachi gi labe yubi kapsulu ani zum da ti neshi dongle yubi kapsulu machewa matowa te kadimchibe ngachara nale judu jowda jubo wachin ani insurance ki khastule besim nale pumping chadi sulu kanga gani leba ani zumbe bechuni dige ngachi khelang yubi kapsulu mato machewa ngachara neshi matomni gidonoda nyawadar mochulu chashuni gidono ngachigi henkebera lopop toptigibe ngachigi khelangi lapi bechuni sushuni.
Today, Bhutan has no local transmission cases and all 21 cases are imported. Sringzam, BBS News.
For the state-owned enterprises or SOEs to perform well with clear targets, the first-ever annual performance compact was signed between the Finance Ministry and the SOEs. According to the Finance Ministry, the initiative will result in lesser interference from the government in daily functioning of the SOEs.
13 state-owned enterprises under the Finance Ministry signed the Performance Compact for the calendar year 2020. Speaking at the signing, Finance Minister Namgyal Singh said the agreement is expected to enhance corporate governance culture.
In a democracy, government keeps changing, and when the SOEs remain as it is, there is a risk of SOEs performing beyond its required mandates. There is a risk of SOEs becoming politically aligned with no proper achievements. SOEs are performing well in their own ways, but if we look at the end result, nothing much is accomplished. So this agreement will have the targets clearly set.
These annual targets will also serve as the base for rating performance-based variable incentive and allowance the government introduced to encourage better performance of the SOEs. Minister Namgyal Singh said an SOE's survival should depend on new innovations and not dominance. The SOEs welcome the initiative as its number in the country increases annually.
It's a very good initiative from the Minister of Finance in the sense that we as a corporate entity, we are supposed to improve our corporate governance, which is the principal pillar of success for any companies. We might be doing a lot of work or a lot of effort have been spent, but I think we may not be producing anything concrete. So this annual performance compact give us a good milestone so that we can achieve, we can work with various strategies towards achieving it.
The state-owned enterprises play a vital role in generating revenue and employment opportunities in the country. In 2018, the SOEs in total contributed a little over 7 billion yuan to the country's revenue. Kiladim for BBS News.
As the cyclonic storm Amphan wreaked havoc in the coastal areas of Bangladesh and eastern India, Bhutan also felt its mild impact with a few reports of roadblocks and crop damages. The country experienced a continuous rainfall as well.
The incessant rainfall triggered roadblocks along the Gyalpo-Nganglam Highway and at Ruotala in Trongsa. In Tirang, it damaged maize fields belonging to 6 households. Mongar also reported of similar crop damage from Kenkar. Also in Mongar, strong wind blew off roofs of a household in Wangmakar Chiok in Chaligyo. It was restored later.
Internet services in the country were disrupted as well. According to the service providers, the cyclone affected its international link providers in India. Meanwhile, as per the National Center for Hydrology and Meteorology, Cyclone Amphan weakened into cyclonic storm today over Bangladesh. It is likely to weaken further. Going by the centre's report, mostly cloudy with light to moderate rain is likely over northern, western and central part of the country during the next 48 hours. Southern and eastern regions can expect moderate to heavy rainfall in the next 24 hours, while there is a possibility of thunderstorms and gusty winds in isolated places. Sangichizom for BBS News.
The former Tongsa Zondal Habdoji and 5 others who were convicted by Tongsa District Court over a land scam appealed to the High Court. In the preliminary hearing on Thursday, the appellants said they were denied fair trial, are not guilty of any charges, and the Anti-Corruption Commission lacks locus standi to prosecute them. The appellants were convicted last year for forgery, official misconduct and deception in transaction of a private land in Taksey. It is reported to have taken place more than a decade ago. The ACC registered the case with Tongsa Court in 2017 after the Office of the Attorney General dismissed the case, saying it did not merit criminal proceedings. Villagers in Pumta are starting to benefit from the Dzongkha administration's land reclamation initiative, which has been underway since March this year. One such project at Thome village in Chume Gyok has transformed a long-abandoned arable land into a mass buckwheat cultivating farmland.
This is the newly reclaimed 15-acre land at Gothak in Thome village. It is now under buckwheat cultivation. For the last 15 years or so, this piece of land was left fallow due to lack of a farm road and a motorable bridge. Farmers also moved to a new settlement at Bithang, which is along the Thimphu-Bumthang National Highway.
In the past, even if we wanted to cultivate our fields, due to lack of a farm road, tractors and electric fences, we could not. One time we even had to abandon the fields after tilling due to constant wild boar attacks. However, we got all the required facilities and services this year. We are really thankful and we want to make sure that the support won't go waste.
The Dzongkha and Gyok administrations have helped us a lot. We now have a bridge and a farm road, and the excavation works of our fallow lands were done for free. Our old village at Thome is on a hilltop and we use horses to carry our rations and other goods there. Those who didn't have horses carry everything on their back. We gradually settled along the highway at Bethang, which has become our new village now.
Usually we used to earn our livelihoods from the sale of yatra fabrics, but now, as yarns are not available in the market, our income has been affected so much. Some of us have now started cultivating in those fallow lands.
This is the old village of Thome, which is located on a hilltop about 15 minutes walk from the highway. Most of the houses are in ruins now and fields have remained fallow for decades. With most of the people settled at Bithang, there are only about 2 to 3 households who still live here in Thome.
It has become very crucial for us to have a farm road for our old village in Thomet so that we can start cultivating our fields again with the help of farm mechanization and land reclamation initiatives. The fields at the old village have now become fallow and trees have grown all over the place.
If we get a farm road at Thome, some of us can resettle there in the future as and when population increases and the pressure on land and other resources grow simultaneously.
Meanwhile, reclamation works will also be carried out in other places in the Gyok.
The next phase will be at Geza Chiok in Upper Chume, where we have identified 10 acres of fallow land for reclamation. And then we will carry out similar work at Farbe in Zunge Chiok in about another 15 acres.
100 acres of uncultivated land has been identified for reclamation in Chumi, Chekor and Uragyoks. It is a part of the district's response plan for mitigating the effects of COVID-19 on food supply. For Kipchun Bumthang, this is Tanden Finso for BBS News.
That's all we have for you for this week. Thank you for watching.